Hello, mate.
Hey man,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's been ages since I've spoken to you. Properly,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. It's like Brighton Convention.
Holy moly. Yeah, it's a bit rubbish that that's been postponed.
Yeah,
Are you still going to it, or?
I think I want to still go, but I don't really know if I'm alive in September. But the plan is to go anyway.
Yeah, fingers crossed there.
Yeah,
Yeah, the thing is with me, because we're actually going to be doing our permanent residency in the next, like, I think we've got an appointment next week, like a Skype interview with a lawyer, like an immigration lawyer.
yeah,
And when we start doing that process, we have to stay in the country. Like we can't go anywhere else.
yeah,
So hopefully, I mean, normally my friend did it, and I think it took a couple of months. So hopefully, if it goes quick enough, then we can go. But if not, we'll be stuck in Canada.
yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing.
No, no. There's
Just
worse
just a
places to
little,
be.
yeah, just a little tricky. Since we've been cooped up here, we want to leave a little bit, and
Yeah, I think everybody's just wanting to get out now, but I think it's more important than ever, I guess, to stay in.
yeah, unfortunately. Although I think people generally here have been pretty good. Like, I mean, from our apartment, we can kind of see like over downtown, and there's like no one out. Like we can see all the like local parks and stuff, and no one is out. So, but I feel like that's not the case in other places. Like I know my mum was talking about there's a local park where we live, and there was like people just sunbathing and
Yeah,
doing what, and it's like just stay in,
yeah.
goddamn.
I guess Sweden has taken kind of a different approach to it that's been criticized a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no really right answers for it.
Well, other than staying in.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I guess let's try and get started because I'm sure people don't care about our little catch up.
No, sorry.
um,
Hi, Natalie.
so, are you how have you done a lot of paintings on the iPad or not at all?
I have never done any sort of painting on an
Oh
iPad.
my word! This could be
So
interesting then.
I guess it's easy, right?
Once you get the hang of it, I think so. Yeah. I mean, if you can paint, I think you can just apply those skills that you use with painting over to the iPad. Like they replicate brushes and like the paint. I mean, I think the only problem you get is like trying to emulate like watercolor, because I guess that's what most tattooers use, right? Is watercolor.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have a watercolor brush, but what happens is it's just a pattern that they've like created a brush that's just one pattern, and it almost when you brush with it, it becomes too consistent. Do you know what I mean? It looks too consistent, and
that's always like my issue with digital painting is that it's like it can't really mimic the randomness of actually doing things. So it's usually just very static.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely some like tricks and stuff that I've used to kind of get away from it, because I definitely think when I first started doing it, it looked really digital. But I feel that once you figure stuff out and once you use certain techniques, then once that's printed out, like every time I come to a convention with my sort of digital prints, because I've got actual paintings as well that I've made into prints, and more often than not, people can't tell between the two. They don't know which one's been done as a painting versus which one's been done as a digital painting. So, but I don't know.
I mean, like, I think definitely you're one of the few people that I've seen that have figured out how to make it look not digitally. Like,
yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a quick look through the comments, see if there's any questions so far, because I don't know, I don't want to just start painting, just want to see if anyone's got any questions before we start. And have you got any questions before we start?
I think I might have a million questions as soon as we start, but I don't really know what to expect right now.
Okay, so Matt Black just said, can you start today with going over the brushes we will use today? Yeah, sure. I mean, honestly, the only two brushes that I use, I don't know if you can see. are, can you see that, guys? There you go. So I'll use the hard airbrush, which is on the airbrushing section. And then if you click, because everyone, like, I don't know how people have their brush set up, but yeah, all of the properties are like all the way to the 0. Yeah. And then the second brush I use is just a soft brush. And then that's just as it was. So I've just left it like that because that's how I use it. And that's at 19.1%. I don't know if that's the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the standard how it comes. So, yeah, I mean, also you probably just noticed, but I got a couple of reference pictures for color.
Oh, yeah.
So, whether you want to do that or
I'll just look at yours.
Yeah, well, the only thing is I actually use these reference pictures when it comes to the color.
Yeah.
So
okay, so you actually
because you can pipette the colors, right?
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? So you can, like, if you want this yellow,
yeah,
you can just go, oh, there you go, boom.
Yeah.
Because I think with when it comes to, because the last, I don't know if you saw my last one with the rose, but like the paint. Hang on, my dog's got something. One sec. Sammy. He had a bit of plastic in his mouth. With the rose, because I've done a gajillion roses, I kind of just did it out of my head. But when it comes to animals, because especially when people want tattoos, right? They don't want just a bird. They want a specific bird. They want like this is a chickadee, or they want a, whatever, like a random coloured toucan or whatever. Like you can't just, that doesn't just come from your head. You need to look at a reference picture, I find.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to color, and I'll do this when I'm tattooing. Obviously, I can't pipette. Oh, even though when I tattoo, I do actually pipette it. Like I'll do this, and then you can like look at your colors, and then you can kind of see the color range it's in, and try and match your ink to that. I know you wouldn't do that because you've got a very clear color palette, but yeah, that's how I kind of decide like colors if I'm doing like portrait-y style stuff. Which I think is a really good tip, actually, because sometimes it's hard, especially when colors are next to each other. It's hard to actually see what the actual color is.
Yeah. I'm just gonna flip my camera real fast and try to find a reference photo.
Yeah, just type in chickadee, it'll come. It doesn't really matter what angle it's at, just to see the colors.
Yeah.
Taylor, she asked, have you found a solution about the quality loss when you change the size on Procreate? I did. It doesn't keep the quality exact, but there's like 3. I'll show you. I'll just show you because I think it's obviously something she's struggling with.
It's weird because like it didn't used to be that way.
I know. Yeah, it's so annoying.
Especially like with line drawings, it really like messed with everything.
I know. So I think I figured it out, but again, it still does it like a little bit, but not as bad. So when you select it, you get these options here. So nearest neighbor, bilinear, and bicubic. And I find that bilinear it keeps the proportions as good as, the quality as good as it can be. It still makes it a little bit fuzzy, but I find that if you choose that option there, that seems to be better than any of the others. But I mean, if that's not working for you, just try different ones, and whatever works. It's just a case of trial and error, I guess. Everyone has to ignore my chewed nails as well.
Yeah, I feel like my hands are like super, just because of washing hands all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone said bicubic has worked for me. Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of go between them, depending on, I don't know, if sometimes one works. Yeah, everyone's sort of saying the same thing, that for some reason when you resize it, it's really strange because I feel that some programs, like when you draw, it makes it. Is it when I think it's called when you vector it, when you can do it so it can be as big as possible without it changing. But for some reason, I don't know why it's. I think they'll figure that out, man.
Yeah, I know that they're planning on coming out with like a vector tool for Procreate, so people don't have to use Illustrator and stuff like that to
It'd be
actually
so
vectorize
good.
it. Yeah.
It'd be
I
so
don't know
good.
when that's coming. I thought that that was going to come with like the latest update, but it was
Yeah.
more like animation things.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, they'll figure it out. I love that there's Swedish in the chat
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Dude, does John like Carol Baskin? Oh, I'm not a fan of Carol Baskin.
I don't think any. Do you know what's so funny is that like she thought that that documentary was going to come out and it was going to paint her in such a good light.
Yeah, yeah.
And now everyone's like, F Carol Baskin.
You would just put sardine oil if you're planning to kill somebody. You shouldn't have said that, lady.
Curious. How do you know that?
Oh, Carol.
Okay, Matt. So I'm probably gonna. I think a lot of the people that are following along, I guess they're interested for the tattoo side of it as well, not just the painting side of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna color it as if I was, I guess, tattooing it, because I think that's a little bit more interesting, because I did the rose very like paint orientated rather than tattoo.
Yeah.
So I think this time, I mean, it still applies. You still obviously paint it and it will look the same, but I guess the order of things that I'm going to do will be in the order I'll tattoo them.
Yeah.
So, all right, mate. So what I would do first is, so I'm going to do the head first, because it's the darkest area, and that's what I would do in tattooing, and I'm sure you do the same.
Yeah.
So it's black. So what I would do, so you can pipette, but I mean, that's going to be black, right? So what I'd probably do is pipette that, and then it will show you like in what color range the black's in. So actually it's a yellow. So I'm gonna just make a new palette, just so people can see. So every time I do a painting, I'll make a new palette. I went through this last time, but I'm just going to do it again, because I presume there's people in here that wasn't in here last time, and yeah, I guess it's good for you as well.
Yeah.
So click the palette button here, and then add a new palette, and then just make that the default palette. So click on it and make it the default.
Yeah.
And then go back to whichever one you use. I actually prefer this one, and the disc one I kind of rotate through. So then what you can do is, so I pipetted the black in the head, and that black's going to be my darkest color because it's black, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I normally have 3 different tones. So I have like the dark, medium, and then light. So because we're using this sort of color range, I'll get the mid-tone from like here, and then the light like that.
Yeah, I think I got something.
Yep, perfect. And then what I do, the areas which are black, I mean, it's a little bit different in the reference picture to how I've drawn it, but I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter, artistic license and that. So I'll take the mid-tone, and then go to the hard airbrush.
Yep.
And then just color the areas where you're gonna do black. Make sure you've got a different layer as well. That's always really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've done that so many times where I've like painted on top of the drawing.
Yeah,
the
and
lines,
then
and
just
like, damn it.
Are you putting it under the line?
Put it underneath
layer?
the lines, yeah, because otherwise you won't be able to see the lines. We also found a little bit of a problem
Wait, I don't know.
last time where the designs people had downloaded from me, they weren't layered. So to do that, all you need to do, if anyone's having that problem, is go to your line layer,
yeah,
or the design layer, and then Yeah, because yours has done that as well. If you see your lines,
yeah, mine's
so
have a white background.
So go on the design, press N,
yeah,
and then press multiply. Go back. Oh wait, have you not? Where's your? Okay. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it should be transparent then.
Yeah, I think. Wait.
No, is it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You've got a new layer. So that layer 3 is.
Yeah, because this is layer. Like it's still. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get rid of that first one with the white.
No, but this is my line thingy, and this is my second layer to paint on.
Oh, okay. So it's still going underneath it though.
Yeah. You can see.
Cool. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Wicked. Cool. Okay, so hopefully that helps there because that seemed to be a problem last time. I don't know why. But yeah. Okay. Cool. So, as I said, the area that I'm going to do black. So you can see here the top of the head. I mean, I've done it a little bit bigger in my drawing, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of drawing this kind of upside down because to make sure you guys get a better view. So I would just the area that I'm doing. I mean, I'm going to do this a lot quicker than I would normally do, just so you guys, it's a bit easier for you guys, you know, or like you guys don't get bored, basically. Because I just recently did a painting over the last 3 or 4 days. It took me 30 hours. So we don't want to be sitting there for that long. I posted it just before I went live.
Yeah, I saw that, the dog one.
Yeah. I was hoping that people would be like hovering around my page waiting for this so that more people would see it. Oh, okay. I've done it on the wrong layer because I'm an idiot. And there's me trying to tell people how to do it. So actually, when I said about doing it in mind of tattooing, I wouldn't do this in tattooing. I wouldn't color the entire space with a mid-tone and then go into it with light and dark. I would just build it up as I go. So ignore what I said about doing it when it comes to tattooing.
Is there a reason why you're going just around these thingies? Just like, is it to circle it out, or? Yeah,
so basically you need to do it so it there's no gaps, because you need to basically create so like when you fill it doesn't leak out into the other bits. Otherwise, it'll do that. So you've got to make sure there's no gaps. I mean, and we can work into this later as well. Do you know what I mean? We can like subtract stuff and make it a bit more refined and fluffy. I feel like I'm proper like practicing this now because I spent the last 4 days just painting. Like know exactly what I'm doing now. Whereas
I was like, should I do some sort of like mini tutorial before this? But I think it might be more interesting to have a
I think so.
Total rookie on here to actually
I think because what we found out with having Ryan on the Draw With Me one is that he brought up things that I'd never even thought about.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh yeah, like, because obviously people think differently and I don't cover everything. So having someone there to be like, hey, what about this thing? And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then kind of explained it the best I could. The app we're using is Procreate, but I think you could, any drawing app has a similar thing to it. So have the same kind of brushes and stuff, so you can just kind of draw along with that. What I would do, John, is just get a thicker brush. Just make your brush thicker, and then just go around the inside of it now.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there's no like gaps or whatever. I'm actually drawing this so I can see the screen, like the questions and stuff as well, so I can answer questions as we draw.
Yeah, I tried to like set up so I have my computer here.
Yeah. So someone just asked, how do you fill the space? So you just get the color that you're using, and then you just drag that to the space you want to fill.
Yeah. So like grab it actually from up in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. So someone just asked how to do it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so once we've done that, I swap to the soft brush. And then I will go to the darkest tone, which is in this case black. And when we're painting, like this is all subjective, right? So like however you want to paint it, you can paint it like however, like you can do it realistic, you can do it traditional, or John, I'm sure like if you were to do this in your own style, it would just be black. So
yes.
But yeah, for the sake of how I do stuff, when it comes to fur, I actually I'll bring this opacity down, and about to maybe like the higher end of 1% or lower end of 2%. And I'm just going to start here, and basically I just like do like a stroking effect here, like this. So start off darker and get lighter.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's a little bit too thick, so I'll probably bring it down a tad. But I don't want it to be too thin that it's just a line, you know?
No.
I want it to be a bit thicker. Oh man, I wish I could turn the camera around and show you Belle dancing to Michael Jackson.
Just casually dancing.
Yeah, it's very funny. So, and you don't have to be too precise for this. And you don't have to do like long strokes all the way to the next bit. You can kind of just start doing more strokes from here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because hair doesn't obviously generally, like birds don't have long hair, right? So you just do. Let me just wipe the screen because the shine's kind of taken away from what you can see. 1 second, guys. I think that's a bit better. Okay, so yeah, you can come in here. And again, you know, when you're doing this properly, you take way more time on it and make it look much prettier. Yeah. But for the sake of this tutorial, we can just do it nice and quick. And then, so once we've done that section there, you can kind of see there's like, you know, lighter bits and darker bits. And then if we use that lighter bits to actually highlight some of those.
Ooh.
Oh, my reflection is blocking. I'm in a different place today. I was in Belle's office the last couple of times, but selfishly, she has to work, so.
Oh, I've been watching too much Tiger King. I just want to say the B word all the time. That's all he says, but I'm trying not to curse. And she's not that. I have that. I've been saying it so much.
I was talking to Ryan before we went on last time, and I was like, yeah, like you can talk about whatever you want, just like remember that kids are present, and obviously no swearing.
Yeah.
And then I got on and I swore straight away, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. And then what I generally do is just go backwards and forwards between the dark and light. And then even the mid-tone as well, just to give it that kind of like the texture. And obviously the shorter the hair you want to do, the shorter the strokes that you do, you know? So like you find that the sort of like hair or feathers around the eye are a lot shorter than the ones that are kind of at the back of the head and the sort of the tail feathers and stuff. So as you kind of get closer to the eye, I normally just do them a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
It's actually hard doing it from trying to not block the screen with my shadow. And the good thing with having the opacity down is you can build it up rather than going in straight away with like a darker tone. You can build it up as you go. You kind of judge it that way rather than just going super hard first of all. And then what I generally do with when it comes to fur, and then, like when I tattoo, I actually do all of the fur in black and grey first. And then depending on if it's like a smaller tattoo or a bigger tattoo, like I'll try and let it heal first. So like I'll do all the texture with black and grey, and then get them to come back in. Because I find that sometimes if you put colour straight over the top of black and grey, it can overwork the skin a little bit. So I try my best to kind of get all the black and grey done to get the texture in there, and then have them come back once it's healed, to then go over with colour. Again, I'm doing this so rough, guys, but if it's you know, when you take your time, you can kind of put like a different, you know, like different, rather than just in one sort of angle or whatever.
But I never thought about the trick of having like a reference photo to actually pull the like mid-tones and stuff. I don't do a lot of color now, so it's fun to just...
It just makes your life a little easier, you know? Because I feel that like a lot of the time, like when colors are next to each other, it's like a trick of the mind. Like the colors look completely different, you know, until when you pip at it, you're like, oh, that's a green. Oh, okay, that's weird. But then you put it all together again. You put it all together again. You're like, huh, that works. You know, I think sometimes, you know, when you look at something like overall, you're like, oh, that's definitely a blue color or whatever. You know, that's definitely a blue color, but in actual fact, it's green.
Yeah, and like especially like with using different colors can make, you know, stuff look even, you know, like having something next to it can make something look more red or more, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, that's a good point as well. Like I use that quite a lot in my tattoos. Like I will use specific colors to make other colors look brighter. And I think that's sometimes the key to making stuff super duper bright, is to just use the right colors. Matthew Castle Tattoo asked, are you using airbrush pen? Yep, we're using, at the moment we're using the soft brush from the airbrush category. And again, so you've got the dark tone in there, and then the light tone's already there underneath. So then I go back into my light and then pick out all the highlights. And yeah, I mean, always, I know you know this, John, but like for the others, like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like confirm everything you say.
no, that's cool, man. No, it's all good. It's all good. I just like, I don't want to, because I know how good you are at tattooing and stuff. So I don't want to like sound like I'm undermining you.
Oh, you're
like,
not. You're not. No, I really appreciate it. Like I said, this is my first ever attempt at painting anything on an iPad. I've dabbled a little bit with like charcoal things, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the same issue with like it just having like one texture, so it's just like painting it with one thing, you know.
Yeah, I find it as well. Like I've seen like quite a few people's digital paintings, and that's the that's the trouble. They make it so flat, you know,
Yeah.
and that makes it look so digital. And because you can do a painting really quick on iPads, because you can just you know, like drag the colors in there, do a bit of dark, do a bit of light, but it's obvious. You can see.
Yeah.
You can see that it's a digital painting. So doing all these little things, that's what I think starts making it look more like a painting.
Yeah, because
you know?
I really like it. Always like when you can see like perfectly opaque black lines in it, that makes it look really like digital to me.
Totally. And that's a good point. Whenever I do, I mean, this is a little different. I've used the hard airbrush to do the lines for this, but when and I use the you know, you can put the what's it called? I'm just gonna look. The streamline. If you put the streamline up, you can make it nice and smooth. When I'm doing a painting, inverted commas painting, I will use I'll use the brush pen, and I'll take the streamline all the way down, so you don't have that smoothness, you know. So like so it's not so perfect, you know. And I think that really helps well, because firstly the calligraphy brush pen, it isn't totally consistent, so it kind of emulates what it would be if you used a brush, you know, because no one can do a perfect line. Well, I guess some people can, but it's difficult to do a perfect line with a brush, and it's the same with that brush pen. Like you have to be really careful and consistent, and you know, going around corners, you'll get that little blob and that little bit that doesn't quite work, you know.
Like I have so many different types of brushes and pens and stuff like that, because every time at conventions I just like make my friends drop all the things from their iPads, so I just have a million.
I only use the ones that are already on there. Like I did the same. Like loads of people like would like do this. Like, oh, this brush is wicked. It's so good. But I found the ones that are most useful, the ones that are already on there, and I've just made them kind of work to how I want them to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I have like tweaked in all of them like a little bit, like, because I don't like streamlining, because I think I sometimes want a real like jagged edge to things and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. I mean, when I'm doing all this stuff, like the hair and stuff, you can't use the streamline.
No.
Like you have to do it just normally, but like for these like long sweeping lines, I'll use it, because I think it's just easier to get a nice consistent line with a streamline. Okay. So I'm just gonna, as I said, I mean, this is generally, you know, what it would look like, but again, you know, I'd take a lot more time if we were doing this, or if I was doing this properly, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can use that. You can use the reference picture to, like, you know, see how the head's formed. But I mean, you know, artistic license and bringing your own style, I mean, dictates for you to like, kind of do it as you see fit. You know.
Yeah, like my style is definitely not super based in reality. Like I try to always like, I mean, it's based in reality, but it's always like I want it. This looks prettier or cooler to make stuff bigger or smaller and stuff like that.
Exactly. Okay, so, and then obviously we've got that bit at the bottom as well, so I'm just going to quickly do that. I'm going to try and do this a little quicker. just so I don't, because you've seen how to do this bit now.
Yeah.
Where am I? Sorry, looking at this at a weird angle. So how are you coping with being locked inside?
Oh, it's weird. Like, I don't really know what to do. I feel like I stopped reading a lot of news about it because it just like freaks me out a little bit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out other things and stuff.
How is it? Is it bad where you are? Like, are the numbers high?
Like I said, I try not to read that much. I like ask people sometimes, but like that's what I don't really like. Some people say that it's the worst ever and everybody's dying every second, and some people's like, no, it's nothing. So I don't
Yeah.
really know what to do at
Yeah.
all. I think it's not crazy yet. I think we haven't really exceeded all the like hospital beds and stuff like that. It's not Italy bad, but it's getting worse, I think.
Yeah, I know it's a lot worse in that part of the world because, well, I don't know, like in Canada, weirdly enough, like we've comparatively to the rest of the world, I think we've done all right. I think we've managed to escape a lot of it. I know in Alberta, a place that's 3.5 times the UK, we've got, I think I checked this morning, it was 1,200 people sick and 23 people have died. Yeah. So, I mean, I know in the UK, I think it's plus 4,000 people that have died now. So that's crazy. That's a crazy difference considering, although Canada's population is a lot smaller, you know, 4,000 versus 23 is pretty crazy. But yeah, it's just a weird old time, isn't it, man? Like, regardless of what's happening, like, I don't know, I can't wrap my head around it.
No, it's like that's why I'm very torn about it. Like some days I feel like, yeah, it's probably gonna get better next week, and sometimes I feel like it's never gonna. I'm gonna just have to
I think
start
everyone's
building armor out of motocross tires and go across the wasteland.
Mad Max.
Yeah. I mean, I always have motocross armor ready, but you can never have too much motocross tire armor.
But yeah, someone just said 5,000 plus as of today in the UK. It's crazy. Someone asked, where are you from, John?
I am from Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah, I can talk with more.
Home of Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, I can talk with more Swinglish. My name is John and I'm from Sweden.
Fucking love that. Oh, I swore, no. No.
the Swinglish always gets them.
Made me lose my train of thought. Didn't know where I was for a second.
Yeah, I'm based in Stockholm right now. I just moved to Stockholm 2 months ago, so perfect timing to change cities.
Oh my god, yeah. Has it? I mean, how are your like appointments and stuff? Are they obviously not doing anything at the moment? But
no, I had a lot of clients. Like it started with having a lot of clients that was gonna fly in, and it like that's when it like started to, and then now it's just not really like. I don't really know what to do at all.
No. Yeah, I'm in the same sort of situation as well, just because a lot of my clients actually, they're not from Calgary.
Yeah.
So like a lot of them had flights booked from, Canada and America and stuff. And yeah, obviously they just got cancelled. And it's not even just that, it's as soon as the borders open, that'll be great, but people don't have any money. So
no, that's like the main thing. Like, because like Sweden doesn't really have a curfew yet. Like we don't have, it's not closed or anything. It's just like we we don't really do anything, and like, but nobody like wants to spend money on tattoos. You really like get like, wow, I'm very happy that people used to pay me for this
Yeah.
luxury product that I'm supplying them with, because like, you know, when it comes down to it, we really like get paid to do fun things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just going to give another little trick. So, I've I just started doing this since doing that painting just over the last few days. Every single color that I do, or every different color that I do, or different section that I do, I'll do a new layer, and then put it underneath. I mean, those two colors are fine that you've done because they're the same color. But yeah, so I'll add a new color, new layer. Make sure it's underneath.
That's
the thing,
smart. Yeah.
the thing you just did, and then it means you can just do this, you know, and it won't affect what you've just done.
Yeah.
Because I find that sometimes when you've done stuff, and then you have to do like the next color or whatever, you possibly could ruin what you've just done. And it's the same if you you know you're finished and you're like, oh, that needs something there. Instead of going into it, I just did a new layer and just tried it out, and then if I liked it, cool. If not, then I can just delete that layer and it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah.
So I know, as people might have seen, I just did a pipette of the beak, and then again, I'm just gonna put that down in my palette, and then do the same thing, darker, and then lighter, and then I mean,
so slow. I think I'm just gonna I'm just doing it now, and then it'll look the way it looks. I'm just wanna
yeah,
keep
I mean
up a little bit.
that's what I think we should do, man. Is like,
Yeah.
you know, take on board sort of, I guess, what I've said, and then you can take some time over it, like, because that's what I did with the rose. Like I did one that was like along with everyone, which I kind of rushed, and then that evening I did like another version of it. And I actually took my time with it. And I think people did that as well, like because I had people tagging me and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even as late as today, you know, and they've actually like properly taken the time, and they all look amazing. I was so happy and not surprised, but so, you know, yeah, just happy that like people actually took their time to actually do it, and they looked so good.
Yeah, I saw
like some of them
bunch of the ones that you posted were like, dang.
Yeah, and like people that weren't even that are not necessarily like professional artists or tattoo artists, tattooers. They're just people that like to draw. And they were amazing. Like, and that's what prompted me to do mine properly, because I was like, damn, these are really good. Like,
show me up, man.
Yeah, I know, I need to up my game. Okay, so in this picture the eye is like completely black, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put a little bit of brown in there. Oh my god, you can see my face. Hi guys. That's embarrassing. Someone just said thankful for COVID-19 response in Western Canada. Wear a mask and wash your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's kind of, I think because we acted so quickly with shutting the borders and stuff, I think that really helped.
I'm super nerdy, so I always try to like name all my layers and stuff like that, just to keep like some sort of.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that probably saves you, especially if you're doing like quite a detailed painting.
Yeah.
It definitely saves you time later on, because I was finding that like with that painting I did, like kept going back and like pressing the wrong layer. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
and
you
then
name
like,
it, yeah,
especially like when it comes to tattooing, like drawing everything, and then like, damn it, I lined it on the.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at some questions. Someone asked, do you use black to do the shadow, or do you just go darker with the color? When it comes to shadow, in general, and this is a rule across all of painting, you shouldn't ever really use black. Just use a darker color.
How dare you?
I sort of mean in like
I
oil
know.
painting, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, if you're doing a shadow, it should just be a darker version of the color you're using, you know. So like, I don't know, you know, these, I'm going to do these probably a gray, so the shadow would be a dark gray. Same as like if this was, you know, if this was brown, sorry, you guys can't see. If this was like a brown branch, then the shadow would be darker brown, you know. As a general, you don't ever really use black when it comes to painting, or from what I've been taught anyway.
Have you done like, did you do art classes and stuff?
So funnily enough, I did, my old boss, Glyn, he did, you know Glyn, obviously.
Yeah.
He did like a proper in-depth oil painting class, and then he basically taught me. So I guess yes and no. Like it wasn't like from an official, I guess, teacher, but like he retained all that knowledge.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did a really good job, I think.
Yeah, I want to do like more actual art classes and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's crazy, like the little, and even just from like doing these little things, and I really don't know anything about anything. I just kind of bodge my way through things, but
yeah,
it seems that like some of the stuff that I think is kind of obvious, a lot of people are like, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't think about that. So that's sort of interesting. Like when we were doing the rose drawing the other day, I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
But the way I was talking about how I draw my leaves and how I structure my leaves, I guess people didn't realize how leaves like grow out of a stem, you know?
Yeah, it's hard. Like I obviously do a lot of roses, so it's like I definitely agree with everything, but then it's like, oh, but then I learned all those things and then I just ignore them all and do something else. Because it's like that's a little bit what it is, art as well. Like
exactly, yeah.
To learn how to do it, just to know what you can kind of not do.
Absolutely.
And like where you can take shortcuts and stuff.
Exactly. And I don't even think shortcuts. I think just that's where you start putting your own style into things.
Yeah.
You know, like, because as long as you understand something, I think you can like take that and then change it and make it your own. Whereas if you don't understand it first off, you're already making mistakes when you start doing stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Wait, how did you do that eye?
Oh, come on, mate. Should be keeping up with it.
No.
So it's literally so easy. So it's just black all in there, and then just a bit of brown, and then just white. It's like a little smiley face, look. Okay, I was going to ask a few questions. Someone asked me, and do you ever alpha lock your layers? I do, yeah. I keep forgetting to do that, but someone told me how to do that last time, and it's actually a really, really good trick. So yes, I do that. So people are singing along with the music. That's good. Annoyingly, I can't save these live sessions. I've tried different ways, but the Instagram won't let me save them. They're on my story for like, I think 12 hours after they're done, but once they're gone, they're gone. I think Belle and I are going to actually do some like tutorials, like proper ones, and then put them on YouTube. John, what style do you focus on?
I don't know. I hate to use the word black work, but I guess that's kind of what people are calling it now. But um, I just like to do stuff with like super heavy contrast with a lot of blacks in it,
Yeah.
and almost not to the point where it's black and gray anymore. But
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. I think like yours is kind of because yours is still kind of in the near traditional
yeah,
realm,
that's
but it's
definitely where I started. But
yeah, yeah, it's still got a
I
bit of
hope
it to
that
it,
I'm
but yeah, a
yeah.
lot darker.
But it's like the more black stuff I do, the more I kind of miss, because like I still do roses in every color and shape and size and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but like as soon as I've done a lot of just black for a long time, it's like I miss doing some colorful roses and contrasty things with roses.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said they gutted they missed the rose one. As I said, I think I'm gonna do like a series where I teach Belle how to draw and how to paint, and they'll all be recorded. Like, cause that's her job. She does like YouTube videos and tutorials for makeup. So she's gonna make like a super professional version of like what we're doing right now, and obviously that'll be available on YouTube to watch whenever you want. I think that's a good idea because these are funner because I think we can kind of connect with like the people that are following us and answer questions. But yeah, when it comes to like actually painting, it's hard because like obviously I move pretty quick, and it's hard to like keep going back and forward. Whereas if it's a YouTube video, you can like do it at your own pace.
Yeah, and do some and
Yeah.
do like edits and stuff to it. She's a pro at that, so
She's so good, yeah. How do you get the clean drop fill without the white midline, if that makes sense?
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I had my computer where I could read the comments, but now I can't really read comments anymore. But I'm trying to have a little sneak peek every once.
That's okay. The way I'm drawing, I can see all the questions, so I'll ask you if they ask you questions, and I'll. Someone said, how do you get a clean drop fill without the white midline, if that makes any sense, like the flood? I know what you mean, but I don't know what you mean by the white midline. Have you, when you've got your design, did you multiply the layer so it became transparent? The fill sensitivity. Yeah, but there shouldn't be, I know, but I think there shouldn't be a white line around stuff if you do the multiply, I don't think. Because John, you haven't got a white line around everything, have you?
No.
It leaves a line between the outline and the fill.
I know that like it can be weird sometimes. I guess it depends on like how you saved it and a whole bunch of computer mumbo jumbo. Because like it does that when I edit things in other stuff that it like makes a little white line around stuff and
yeah. Someone just asked how to solve it. Yeah, I'd need to see it to try and figure it out. But let me just show you how to multiply again, just in case that's the issue. And someone else had just asked how to multiply. So basically, mine obviously hasn't done that because I drew this in this program, but it seems to be when you download the file, it comes as like a design rather than a layered file. So basically, say for example, this is the design that you imported. You press the N, and then see where it says mine says normal. If you click multiply, what will happen is it will create a new layer, and then it will just be the lines. Is that right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you click multiply here, just press that, and then it will make a new layer, and that will be your transparent lines.
I don't think you have the latest version of Procreate.
No, I probably don't.
No, it looks a little different, but every gal is ever. I see a lot of people talking about that ever gal, whatever it's called.
The only thing with someone just said maybe some programs can't read Photoshop files correctly. It was I found it easier because if you I don't know, when I downloaded it and when my friend downloaded it, it just downloaded the layer straight into Procreate. So I don't know how people are downloading it. It's hard to tell, you know.
Yeah.
But I found that the Photoshop file for most people was giving you the layers already there for you. But I guess maybe next time I can do like a Photoshop file.
Because I guess there's like specific Procreate files.
There is, but I couldn't download that to Dropbox for some reason. I don't know. We'll figure it. I think most people have figured it. I think it's just a couple of people that haven't been able to do it. So it's hard to. Maybe if you. I don't know. I don't know how to solve it. Sorry, guys. I'm useless. Right. Okay. So someone asked about the eye. Honestly, the eye is super, super easy. Just black in there, and then brown, and then just white, and then a little bit of white there. And you've got your eye. So I'm going to move on to this bit here, and it's the same thing again. I'll just pipette that color. Just kind of find a mid-tone within that color there. Well, see, when you look at that, I think that is pretty green, but when you look at it, it's not at all.
No.
It might be when you like look at it. Okay, so that's a good mid-tone, I feel. And then put that in my palette. And then I'll find a darker version of that. See, it's orange rather than green. That's crazy. And then a lighter tone. Okay, Ali just said when you save the file, so it's probably the people that have saved the image rather than the file that aren't getting it in layers. So yeah, you have to save it as a Photoshop file, and then you can open it in Procreate and it will have the layers. Because Ali, yours come through as layers, right? Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, guys. It only lets me record for an hour at a time. Where's my boy gone? He probably doesn't even know. Oh, there he is. Okay, the multiply thing works. Okay, we're back, baby.
It died.
Yeah, and it lets you record for an hour at a time.
We've already gone for an hour.
Yep.
Cool. That's cool.
And we've done the head.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. New layer. Whack that under there.
Damn, it's almost like you've done this before.
I felt so bad yesterday, like, because I really wanted to get that that painting finished, and I got up like super early, and then I didn't stop like doing it until I finished, and I don't think I spoke to Belle once the entire day. I was like, I feel like I haven't seen you today, and we were sitting right next to each other. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay. Something else I would say as well when you're doing this is be mindful of like where things like the form of things and the shape of things. So like obviously this part here is kind of going over his shoulder a little bit. So that this bit here would be lighter than the bits around it to create that kind of elevation, you know, and same kind of up here, like that bit there would be a little bit higher, and then this bit here would be higher. So like these 3 points are going to be lighter than the rest, and they all kind of build up, you know, to those points, you know.
Yeah.
And to help know those bits are, you know, that's just, it takes like looking at actual good reference and making sure you know what you're drawing, you know. It's like going back to that thing of understanding what you're doing.
Yeah, that's also weird, like coloring somebody else's drawing a little, because it's always like I haven't really done the like work of figuring out why you put stuff here and there, you know, like when I almost don't ever shade my things on paper because I kind of have it figured out with my line drawing, but now it's like trying to interpret someone else's line drawing.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. Excuses.
Yeah. It's true though. So we did a flash day a little while ago at Southern Spades, and it was anyone could do anyone's designs. Like people, it was just like next first person, first serve, and then whatever they had picked, you did it. And it was so weird because like Ali and Jay, like they do like traditional, like that's, you know, that's their thing, and I don't at all. And I like, even though I kind of, I guess, learned how to do traditional when I first started, you know, I'm so out of practice. And so what I did, I just got I got Ali and Jay's Instagrams up on my phone to like see how they did stuff. Be like, okay, well, they do red here and yellow here and black here, and I think they ended up looking okay. But it was just funny, like, you know, a fairly simple design, so like suddenly like stumps you because you're just like, I don't know how to make this simple. Like, because for me,
because a lot of people like, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say, like, for me, like if I'm coloring in a dagger, like I would put like a shine on it, and I'd do it like, you know, like put maybe some like blood on the handle, I don't know, something. Whereas like traditional is very much just like super solid, you know, super well done technically.
Yeah,
and
that's like
so I'm just
how
like,
I learned. I mean, like a lot of people underestimate, especially I think a lot of people just underestimate traditional tattooing because, like, I think you can hide way more crimes in a like realistic gargoyle than you can do in like a little heart with a dagger. Everything's on show.
Yeah, that's the same as like, you know, when you have customers talk about like, oh, I just went to an apprentice to get this script because it's easy. I'm like, dude, you have no, like, script is the hardest thing to do because you can't hide any mistakes.
Try to draw Times New Roman in 2 millimeter letters on a piece of paper, and it's not that easy.
Yeah. I had a customer the other day that, and he was getting tattooed, and his girlfriend went to get a tattoo at the same time, but she was getting, I think, just a single line of, I think it was script, or it was like a star or a heart or something, like, you know, you'd think was super simple, but then she missed it, and she came back and it was like atrocious. And like, and she knew it as well. She was like, yeah, it's really bad. And I was like, well, you know, she's like, I thought you'd be able to do it. It's such a simple design. I'm like, yeah, but you know, you can see every single one of those lines. If you mess up one of those lines, that's it. That's the tattoo done and dusted. Whereas, you know, if you're doing this tattoo, I mean, even though this is a relatively simple one for me, you know, look how many lines there are just in like this bit alone. You know, you can mess up like half of those lines and it'd still work as a tattoo. Yeah. Not that I do mess up those lines, but it's
but like there's definitely like a lot of tattooers that are like it's not even have to be technically good because they're so good at drawing, so the like technical part is not that relevant to me. Like I think it's still like some people really do amazing work without being perfect with every single line, and then there's people that are amazingly perfect at everything, like coloring everything, but it's like it's I think I guess it's up to the person wearing it and doing it. There's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
rights or wrong in tattooing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people I love, but you actually look at their tattoos, like, and you pick them apart technically, and you're like,
Yeah,
that could have been done better. But I think sometimes actually it gives it a bit of, I don't know how to look, like the emotion and like you can,
yeah,
I don't know. It's like there's something about
exactly
a
like
tattoo like that. I
but
think
that's like what I mean
go on,
too
sorry.
about digital versus real painting or whatever you want to call it. Like the
Yeah,
imperfection is kind of what makes it
I agree. Yeah, I
cool.
definitely agree. Like, and I don't like. Obviously, I'm not going to talk bad about someone's like tattooing and like technically or whatever, but like perfect example for someone like that is Chris Clean. I don't know if you know his work at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But his tattoos, like technically, I guess they're not like technically like lines and color wise, they're not like the most technically brilliant, but
No.
the actual tattoos, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, he's very good at like having that like old school mentality of like simplifying stuff to the like stripping away everything unnecessary and still
Yeah.
like having cool this but still not being an old school tattooer at all.
Yeah.
Haven't seen this work in a long time though.
So good. I really want to get it. I really want to get tattooed by him.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of his prints, and they're really cool. Have you got any prints, John?
I had like I did a bunch of roses that I had, but
Yeah.
like I take forever to draw things and paint things, so it's just like it was a series of 6 roses with different type of antlers that had like hunting trophies behind them. That was gonna be like just my version of hunting trophies, but it took like a year between every painting, so I started to hate the latest one when like the last one was done. And but I'm working on some new prints now. It's just weird. It's hard to like. I don't know how to. I suck at managing things, so it's like, oh, it's gonna take me forever to ship things. I think it's better to just do prints and have them with me and stuff like that.
Once you do them though, there's a guy. I don't know if it'll be financially better for you, but there's a guy that I use, Dan. He does like River Valley printing.
Yeah.
He does like you send him the design, and then I mean you can talk about money and stuff, but
yeah, like, I would love to do something like that, to have like a just like, oh, here's the print, sell it, and I'll take a cut from it.
Yeah, I mean he has it on his website. And then like if you're at a convention and he's there, he just brings you a bunch, and then you basically buy the prints off of him. Yeah. And then you can just do whatever you want with them. So I find it, because a lot of the time I found when I did it without Dan, like it would be like people would order it, and then 6 months later I'd be like, oh, I had to send those out.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
I'm very bad at everything when it comes to like managing things, and well, I think a lot of tattooers are bad at that.
Yeah, definitely. So that with that, you don't have to worry about it, because he just sends it out and it's like super quick and easy. And
yeah,
I don't know why that happened. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. The only thing is, because he's over this side of the world, I don't know if it's like financially viable.
No, I don't know. I think there
must be
kind of similar things in Europe. I know Gentleman's Tattoo Flash did something similar, but they're kind of picky with who they have there.
You're famous though, mate. Come on, you be able to.
Oh, I am not. I'm no award-winning tat man.
I'm just going to. Someone just said that's the apprentice's job, to send out prints.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read some of the comments. Yeah, someone just said clients think that script is the easiest thing to tattoo. I also think like script is so difficult to draw as well. Like I don't think people realize how much of a craft it is. You know, like there's obviously artists that just specifically do script, and they're so good.
Yeah.
And then clients are just like, oh yeah, just draw. It's like, nah.
Yeah, I just want a quick little super fancy script.
Yeah. Saying that, I've actually my next on Friday, I'm going to do like a draw with me, another one of these, but draw with me, and it's going to be a script version. And you know Justin Burnout, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna do it with
no,
me.
I've met him at conventions, but I know of his work a lot.
Right. Yeah, so he's gonna do that with me, which I think is gonna be really cool because his script is like, I think, the best scripts I've seen. It's so nice.
I think so too. There's a lot. I like that there's like different styles. I like that script because I really enjoy script. I think.
Yeah, me too.
When I started tattooing, it's always like I based people's work off of like their roses and their script. Because if you like can manage to do a good script and roses, then like you can see a lot of the fundamentals to other things as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I think that would be quite a fun one because I think a lot of people struggle with script as well. I know I went to a BJ Betts seminar once because I used to struggle with script a little bit, and yeah, so I think we can learn a lot from Mr. Justin. I don't know if anyone is excited for that or if they want to learn a bit of script. Sam Taylor does epic script. You're right. I met Sam in where the hell did I meet? In Montreal. He's such a lovely guy. But yes, he is very good at script.
Is he the one that does a lot of like almost like the little windows in his script and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh, so I think I've just figured out what that girl meant with the white outline.
Oh.
Look how mine's done.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant? Whoever, I can't remember who said it. Yeah, so I don't know how to get rid of that. If that is the thing you meant, I just color over it. It doesn't take too long. Okay, yeah, there's nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. It's just it is what it is. So I just I just go around it afterwards. I don't know if anyone knows Justin. I'm sure they do because he's amazing. But if you actually know him personally, he's so funny. Like I think that it's going to be entertaining just having him on.
Yeah.
His voice is so funny, man. Like it sounds like he smoked 40 cigarettes a day for like the last.
I think I met him at the Brighton convention, and I did not know that he was British.
Honestly, man, he makes me laugh so much. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. That'll be good.
Because he's hella British.
He is very British.
You are very British as well, because you can't say the letter T.
My friends have been sending me, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like that meme where someone's reading Twitter, like a Twitter thing.
I saw some of those, yeah.
I can't remember what they say, but yeah, I'm like, haha, very funny.
Ha ha ha.
It's not like I hear that every day of my life.
What, like, where is your accent? Is that like London?
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with London is it's how is that? Look, the wings are like a purpley pink color. Weird. So in London, there's like 4 or 5 different accents just in London, and probably more than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm from like northwest London, so mine, I don't think mine's as harsh as like East London. Like East London's like the classic like Cockney, like gangster kind of accent that everyone hears in movies. But whether you guys can tell the difference or not, I'm not sure.
I mean, like I I can't really tell. I like the very, very extremes I can tell the difference of, but not really like the small little differences of,
Yeah, yeah,
because I've met people from Essex and old Ryan as well.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what his accent is. I don't
Yeah,
know.
his is Essex.
Yeah.
But would you say we sounded different?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really know how, but yes.
Yeah, but which I think is crazy because I mean London's such a small place, like geographically, right? Like you wouldn't think the accent would change so drastically.
But like I'm from the north of Sweden, so I think my Swedish accent is probably pretty thick.
Yeah, but
Like
but it's the same city. London's like
yeah,
one city and it's got like
yeah.
4 or 5 different accents.
I think there's different accents in Stockholm as well, like
Oh yeah, okay.
more like a little bit more posh and but I don't know. I just moved here.
Oh, I've done that. Sorry guys, I've done that too. It's too much of a shadow. It's like, so I'm doing this at a weird angle, like so the camera can kind of like my iPad is like the wrong way from me. Oh, I guess I could change that. No, never mind. So I'm struggling like finding like the brushes and stuff because I'm doing it at like a different angle to what I'm normally. So I'm like, where is that thing? I don't know what I'm doing.
Any advice for someone who used to tattoo but had their kit stolen from the shop owner and lost their confidence for drawing and tattooing? I don't know. I struggle a lot as well with confidence issues and stuff like that when it comes to drawing and tattooing. And I don't know. I think just keep at it is pretty much what, and like just do more and create more, and eventually like it. I think it like knocks something loose to the point where like, yeah, I'm actually okay with what I drew now, and just take it from there a little bit.
Yeah, I think like for me, like I think everyone struggles. I mean, that's obviously an extreme case what's happened to this girl. But I mean, you got to surround yourself with the right people first off. I think that's really important. And if you are in a toxic situation, then try your best to get out of that situation. But yeah, when it comes to confidence with drawing, unfortunately, there isn't really an answer, is there? It's kind of just because I think every artist struggles with that, like that kind of self-motivation and confidence, because I mean that's kind of a byproduct of being an artist, right?
Yeah.
Kind of your brain sort of, I don't know, it's just one of those things. And I think the key is exactly what John says, just push through, just keep going, and eventually, you'll come out of it. It's just one of those, you have to be a little persistent and not give up, really. I think that's the only kind of,
I've kind of learned that working in different and new mediums helps a lot too, because you don't have that like, because you're gonna suck at it, so you're okay with sucking at it a little bit more. So I think that helps a lot, and it's just fun to like learn new things with like working with either like paints or markers or an iPad or spray paint or
Yeah, that's a good point. What a song, by the way. Do you know a funny story actually? And if my mum's here, she can vouch for this as well. When I was really young, like maybe I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10, maybe I got a karaoke machine for my Christmas or birthday, and they only had like 5 preloaded songs on there, and this was one of them, Material Girl. And so I used to sing this like every single day for so long and annoy everyone around me. Not much has changed, but
I mean, you're quite the material girl, if you ask me.
I just think it's funny that this was one of the songs that was on there, and like,
Yeah.
as a 10-year-old autistic child, dancing and singing to this song was probably quite funny for everyone around me.
How are things in Canada? Is it cold there?
Alexa, what's the temperature outside? Ah, it's not too bad. It's only -1 at the moment.
Okay.
It's not too bad. But yeah, the other day it was like -11, which wasn't nice.
Yeah. Did you have? Is there snow in London?
I don't think. I think it's really nice in London right now.
But like typically, like during the winters, are the winters ever like real snowy?
No. We get
No.
every now and again we'll get like London will get like a dump, but it'll be like a couple of inches.
Yeah.
Like it won't be. Yeah, it won't be anything significant.
No.
Oh yeah, my mum just said. Then it was Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, my mum just said we get slush mainly, as for snow. Yeah, I don't really remember at any point in England having like a snowball fight or building a snowman or anything like that. You know.
Yeah, because where I come from, there's snow.
Yeah. Do you get down to like -30 and stuff like that as well?
Yeah. I think the coldest has been in my town. Like the record was -43 Celsius.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I've been in that once now. No, was I? Yeah, no, I went to Lake Louise when we first came here, and it was February, and I think in Lake Louise it was like -44.
Yeah,
that was pretty insane. But the thing, although saying that, I think that like after -20, it all kind of feels the same.
Like it all sucks. It's
yeah,
like
it all just feels really cold. The thing is though, like I actually prefer that.
I'd rather have it cold than hot. Like
Oh really?
Yeah, not obviously not -40, but like I'd much rather have it -20 or 15 than like +40.
Right.
It kills me when I do that.
Yeah, I think for me, because like coming from London, like it would just be raining like all the time, and I think that you know, I'm so used to the rain. Like it's like here in Calgary, it doesn't rain ever, like hardly ever.
No.
So I love that about here. So yeah, I much prefer the cold over the rain. Because I feel with the rain, like if it's cold and rainy, like you're cold, like no matter what, like you get in and you can't warm up. Whereas here, like even though it is really, really cold, as soon as you get inside, you're fine.
That's kind of what I feel about heat. It's like, yeah, you can always warm yourself up when it's super cold. You can just jump around and stuff. But if it's like, if you're in Palm Desert and it's 40, there's nowhere to escape. Yeah. Maybe we should talk a little bit more about what we're actually doing. Maybe do another like recap of how you like selected midtones and stuff like that, or do a little.
Yeah, I mean it's just the same. Like, you know, I just went on here and then found like, you know, rather than this darker tone here, like I found like a mid-tone, and then exactly the same, like just put it into my palette. And then use this kind of color palette here to like select the dark and the light between the two. Because the thing is, if you try and select the dark here and then the medium tone here and then the light tone here, they can all be slightly different because it's a photo. They use so many different colors in it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it doesn't work as well. So if you just choose your mid-tone from this, and then put it into your palette, and then choose the dark and light from the actual whatever this is called, the classic palette thing, or the disc, whatever you want to do. Yeah, and then just work dark and light, dark and light, dark and light. Again, I mean, it's the same for everything, you know. Like when you come to choosing the colors, it just depends on how much like time and effort you're going to put into stuff.
Yeah. I think there's people like popping in and out every once in a while. So
yeah,
I
of
think
course.
it's good to have a little like recaps every now and then.
Someone asked if everyone's sharing their chickadees later, so excited to see everyone's. Yep. If you tag me in your versions, then I'll just share them straight onto my story. I think the hashtag, people are using it, but it's actually, for me, it's easier to see if you tag me in it. But yeah, you use the hashtag color with Antony, just in case I miss them, because I will check that tag from time to time.
Dang, just got here. Who's who? That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
So this is my one. This is Antony's one, and then below is John's one.
Yeah.
Someone said, John, how are you finding painting on the iPad so far? Seeing as this is your first time, it's looking good.
Thank you. I'm liking it. Like it's because when the thing that I've never really painted. I've used markers for all my things. If you want to go check out my work at John Engfors on Instagram, all my paintings I've done with Copic markers. So it's fun to learn how to like actually work in colors and blending and stuff like that. But I think I would never have figured out this way to do it if I didn't have Antony to show me how to like do it. So I will definitely keep working on it because it's fun too.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Now I'm just like doing stuff super quickly.
Yeah, no, I started doing that as well because
yeah.
Someone said, why don't you guys select the area with freeform and after you just paint instead of color and outline?
I used to do that sometimes, like when I draw things and like just put shading in it. But for this, I feel like it's easier to just freeform it.
No, I think because there's a technique where you like select, like for example, this section. Oh, like if you just select that section, you can paint it.
Yeah.
Without it going out the edges. The only problem with that is it means you're painting on the lines. Then you don't keep the lines and the color separate. So this is a new layer. So like if I take out the lines, it's just I find keeping the lines and the color separate easier because you can start doing different layers and stuff. So I'm just looking through the questions.
How many Swedish people are in here? I've seen some Swedes.
Ryan says bonjour.
Ooh, is that guy in a band?
I think so. It looks like it anyway.
Yeah.
He's got some sort of crazy hair going on.
I heard that he has a pretty cool back piece as well.
It's okay. There's some Germans in here.
Oh, the Germans.
Loads of people are suggesting different things, but I mean, you can make a selection and then switch back to another layer. Yeah, I guess you could do that, but that seems very finicky when I can just do what I'm already doing. Yeah, guys, where are you from? Put your little flag in here, where you're from. That'll be interesting. we've got German, got some Swedes, we got some. I think it's the Polish flag, I believe. This is where I realised that I don't know what flags are.
Yeah, don't put flags for actual.
That's Norway, I think. That's Argentina. Brazil. Ryan said he's from Brazil. That's a lie.
Yeah, we're not buying it, Ryan.
America. Isn't Trump such a good president, guys? Controversial. I don't even think that's controversial, to be honest.
No.
I think everyone knows he's not a very good president.
I think it shows, like, even the people that used to think that, I think, are starting to wake up a little bit.
Yes.
I don't really, I haven't really, like, I just read things about it, like, but he doesn't seem to be handling this crisis very well.
Well, did you see what he did to that company, I think 3M?
Yeah, I saw that he did, like, other things. I saw that he, like, the company, well, let's not get super political on here, but that's a very shitty thing to do. He did. I think he did. I had to say he did the same thing with the people that were like working on the vaccine. He's like, can we buy the rights for it?
Yeah, he's an odd man.
Yeah. So, like, do you ever paint, like, if you just paint from your mind and not use, like, reference for, like, different stuff, how do you select, do you just select the base color on the wheel and then, like, make a light and a dark tone of it? And
yeah, I get, like, it kind of depends on, like, what it is, you know, like if it's something that I'm super duper like flowers, like I don't need reference and I'll just make it up in my head. But yeah, if it's something that's if it's something like a bird, like a specific bird, just because, like, you don't really, like, no one knows, you know, what. Oh, I'm rubbing this out. I'm such an idiot. Oh, well, it gave a good effect, whatever. Yeah, like if it's like a specific type of bird, then, and I don't know the colours, then yeah, I'll use reference for sure. I just quickly go onto Google and then find the specific bird or whatever, and then just use that. Yeah, it's the same as when I'm drawing stuff. Like if it's something I'm really confident with, or like I know exactly what it looks like, or it doesn't matter. Like flowers don't matter how you draw them, you know, like because it's kind of your own interpretation of it. But if it's like if it's a bird or like an animal, or you know, then I'll get reference, and then what I generally do is I'll kind of sketch over the top of that reference picture to get like the main bits in place, whether it be the eyes or whatever, or the proportion of it, and then I'll start sort of drawing over the top of that and then get rid of the reference picture and then just kind of make it up as I go along to see it to how I see fit, you know.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, mint condition, and miss you too, Derek. Derek is an amazing tattoo artist from Los Angeles that everybody should. He does very unique and cool things, and is the nicest guy.
Oh my God! Someone just said watch Big Bang Theory. I am not a fan of that show, unfortunately.
Well, have you seen Young Sheldon?
No.
The spin-off version of Big Bang Theory?
Oh my God, it sounds like the worst show in the world. Please tell me you don't like that show.
No.
I remember in my old shop at Wild Tattoos, Nikki, our apprentice, like those guys loved that show, and like they put it on like for an entire day, and by the end of the day I was like, oh my god, I hate this show so much. And Nikki was like, it's just because you don't understand it. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah,
It's got nothing to do with that.
That's the new meme on the internet. Like, you can only, the same with like, I love Rick and Morty, but people are like, it's only for intellectuals. No, it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's not.
What's your favorite comedy?
Ooh. I mean, and it's so hard because I watch so many things. Like,
Yeah.
I love Rick and Morty, but I really like Silicon Valley.
Oh, I've not seen that.
It's pretty dang. And I love The Office and Parks and Rec
Yeah.
and all the usual suspects.
I think like my all-time favorite is Blackadder.
Oh, the OG one?
Yeah. Like Blackadder goes fourth. Like I think I've watched that series like 1 gazillion times. And that is an accurate representation of how many times I've watched it.
What's your favorite movie? And you have to respond within 5 seconds. It's Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage.
Die Hard.
I respect that answer.
It's kind of an easy answer, but me and my dad used to watch it all the time. So yeah, I love that film. Yeah. That and Neverending Story. I like Neverending Story too.
Dang, I just bought the original one sheet Neverending Story poster to put on my wall.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Someone's just followed you, which is cool.
Like now, because I've just before all this happened, I was guest spotting in a new shop every week, and my icebreaker is always to ask, "What's your favorite movie?" And it's like almost an unanswerable question because there's so many good movies, and everybody has multiple ones. But it's just interesting to see where people. Not a lot of people answer a comedy as their favorite movie, is what I've gathered from my research.
Well, I feel that like because comedies like I feel that they're not like proper.
Yeah, people want to answer with like a cool movie as well.
Exactly what I said. Die Hard, because I know it's a fail-safe. Did you see that film 1917?
No, but I heard that it's really good.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I get a little stressed out from those movies that are supposed to be filmed in like one shot. I feel like my mind never gets a break.
It's so intense. It's so intense. Yeah, it's the same as that other one there, Chris Nolan war movie. I can't remember what it's called.
Dunkirk.
Yes, I watched that on a plane for the first time. Oh my god! Because you know when you watch a film on the plane, you're like so dialed in, right? Because there's nothing else to do, right? And it's like you're kind of in the dark, and that's all you can see. And like, man, I was so into it. It was so good.
I watched the movie Flight with Denzel Washington on a plane.
I can't believe they had that as a film.
They had like it was like multiple disclaimers, like you should. Because I guess they have like I don't know, they like buy like the people that make it. I guess like we have to have a certain amount of films. That's the agreement or whatever. So it's like here's the new one, so we have to put it out. But like it's not a good film to have in your plane.
That's quite funny. Well, I'm just gonna go through some more questions, mate. Someone asked me, was it you have friend and foe, or was it a friend of you? Just trying to remember where I found you guys. It was my friend Will Gilbert. That clothing company hasn't been a thing for a little while. It was a venture that he did. He did really well, but ended up getting another job, and he's very successful. He's a videographer / wheeler dealer. He does loads of different things. So yeah, but friend and foe is no more, unfortunately.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. Ryan said Silicon Valley is the best.
Me and Brian have very similar tastes in comedy.
Brains World said, I'm a bit late to the party, but what happens when you colour over the line? How do you put them back? You have to make a new layer, bro. And with the design you have to, so say this is your design. So I keep repeating this, but I think people need to know. You press the N, and then you press the multiply, and then you have the layer that's transparent, and then everything you color needs to be on the layer underneath the lines. We're pretty close. Well, I'm pretty close to being done. Like, I'm just going to shade this branch, and then we're done. So let me get through these questions quick. Someone said Black Books is my favorite. Yeah, I really like that show too. My mum said Drop Dead Fred. I love that film. That's one of my favorite.
I feel like these are all like super Britishy things.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the British kind of sitcom is like its own thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a famous like well-known thing around the world that British sitcoms are like, you know, like 40 Towers and Only Fools and Horses and like things like that. There's such a, there's such a huge, I don't know, like you grew up with those things, you know. Because I find here when I talk about those things, like no one knows what they are, but they're such a huge thing in England. Like every kid grows up watching those.
Yeah.
Like, you know, see how people like I guess in America and in Canada, like you grow up watching Friends and like comedies like that. Like we grew up watching, like Blackadder and 40 Towers and Monty Python and stuff like that. Someone said their favourite film was Freddy Got Fingered. This is a PG stream, guys. Peep Show in the Office. Someone asked, so I just jumped in here, how long have you both been using iPads and do you still do hand drawings at all? I've been using my iPad for probably 4 or 5 years, and I don't do hand drawings anymore. I just do everything on the iPad. But that's just out of convenience for me. Like, I definitely would still hand draw stuff, but this is just really convenient for me. What about you, John?
Can't really remember. Like the time when I went over to London and guest spotted at World of Tattoos, I think I've been using it for like a week. Then I think that's like 2-3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
I think something like that. And I don't really do anything hand drawn anymore, but I want to, because like we've talked about during the streams, there's some things that get a little bit lost when you're doing like digital thing, and like I don't know, it's hard. Like I just want to try to be able to do both, but I haven't so far.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult, I think, because when we're tattooing every day, like anything that makes our jobs easier, we're going to use, right? Like, because our end result isn't the drawing. Our end result is the tattoo. So, you know, that the tattoo doesn't change. But if you can draw this quicker, easier, and more convenient, then I would rather do that, so I can spend more time tattooing and having the end product be better. And I definitely think the iPad helps us do that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to painting and stuff, I definitely think that that paintings, there's a certain magic that gets lost by doing digital paintings for sure. But yeah, when it comes to drawing for tattoos, I don't think it matters at all, because the drawing is just a means to an end. You know, it's just like
exactly. It's just a preparation to do a stencil, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And doing it on an iPad, actually, it makes the stencil a lot more solid, I find.
Yeah. The first thing that I thought was weird about drawing on an iPad is that it's like so slick, but it took like a day, and then I was into like I think it's nicer now than drawing on paper.
Yeah. Yeah, because the screen feels quite slippery at first, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know, like, my old coworker, he had this like screen protector that was called Paper-like, that supposed to make it like feel more papery, and he loves it. It's not, but I had to I've already gotten used to the like slipperiness when he got that, so I just
Yeah.
kept
Yeah,
doing
I'm the
this.
same. Yeah, I had the same. A couple of my friends had that as well, and
Yeah.
because I'd already got used to it, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But I know people definitely some people still struggle with it. Like I know Jay Breen, the guy I used to work with, he can't do liners on iPads
No.
for some reason.
And I
So
know a lot
it's
of
definitely
people
not for
like to
everyone.
do their liners like scale 1-to-1, like drawing.
Yeah.
I think Becca, Essex girl, like I
Yeah.
think she does liners, and I know that Teresa does her line works. Teresa Sharp does her linings
Yeah.
like 1-to-1 because she wants to have it all, like that's the way she wants to do it.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think doing that it helps. Like when actually doing the tattoo, you know, it's like when people talk about hand stenciling stuff over doing it through a machine.
Yeah.
Because by the time they've drawn it 3 or 4 times, like that muscle memory is there, so
Yeah.
it helps them actually do the tattoo. I know Chris Cricks, I don't know if he still does the same, but I remember I guested with him and speaking to him about it. He loves hand stenciling because he finds that, you know, he gets that kind of, like, as I said, the muscle memory of each line, and he remembers doing that, and it kind of helps him go a lot faster when he lines.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's arguments for and against everything, you know. But I just found that using my iPads, it definitely improved my tattooing in a big way. Just in terms of, like, it gave me so much more time to be able to put into the drawing. You know, like, even though I would get to the result quicker, it meant I could actually, like, concentrate on the drawing a lot more. Like, I could kind of try different things and, like, make things fancier and, like, you know. So because I always do my drawings like a night before, right? So, like, I'd have like a specific amount of time to do a drawing, you know. So even though I still take the same amount of time of, like, drawing if I did paper versus iPad, I can put a lot more into it on the iPad because you can take more risks, and it doesn't matter because you can just, like, delete that layer, or do you know what I mean?
And it's so quick to, like, because I used to do that whole thing, like, oh, I loved that wing, but I want it 10% bigger, so, like, make a copy of it and then trace it again, and, like, now you can just, like, whoop, now it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Someone said, I live for hand drawing. I'm too old school to move entirely digital. It's fair enough, man. I know, you know, I know a lot of people that have that kind of thought process. But, you know, if it helps you get to the, you know, whatever helps you, you know, do it. It doesn't matter the process as long as the end result is good, you know. Just I find for me, this is yeah, the easiest. How's everyone doing on their drawings? We haven't really talked about the drawing too much. We've just been doing it. Although I do actually think, like, even for myself, like, I just enjoy watching people drawing, regardless of talking.
Yeah.
And I know people actually have said that in the chat before, that they've enjoyed just watching, like, regardless of, like, either following along or whatever. It's just kind of, I guess, relaxing to watch us do this. So
yeah, I watch a lot of, like, there's a lot of comic book artists that do, like, YouTube videos of them drawing things.
Yeah.
And it's always super. You always get a little bit annoyed because they're so good at it.
I know. I think comic book artists are, like, the best drawers ever.
Yes, and like they don't get any, like, the mega rock stars get recognition from it, but there's, like, just like, oh, you get to try one, and they're, like, the best drawers in the world.
I know. Yeah, I follow a lot of, like, comic book artists on YouTube, and because I watch the same videos as you, John, and I think that I watch them, and, like, they've gone from, I don't know, just their ability is so crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, essentially what we're doing is, like, watered down cartoons for tattoos, right?
Yeah.
But these comic book artists are doing this crazy like perspective and
just like, within 30 seconds have like a super dynamic pose of Spider-Man, just like burp, burp, burp.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cool and like
Yeah.
never seen before pose from Spider-Man.
I know. I think I'm done.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't not see the eye and see the smiley face in it now though.
No. And it's such a weird little smiley face.
Hello. Yeah, someone just said it's nice to listen to you guys draw and it's relaxing and makes you feel less alone in quarantine. I'm glad we can be of some sort of help. Yeah, I just want to mention a couple of things. Like, I don't know if you guys, I mean, you probably have seen because I've been posting out so much, but I've got a couple of like competition-y things like running at the moment. And I'm sure you're sick of hearing about them. But first one is if you buy a print from like one of my prints from River Valley, every person that buys one gets put into a kind of a draw, and then one person's going to win a full day of tattooing worth $1,200. And that's open until tomorrow. So if you want to buy a print, that would help me out greatly. And then my second competition is to win a custom pet portrait. If you look on my page, I've done a portrait of my two little puppies. It took me just over 30 hours to complete, and it's just a raffle system, so you can buy one or as many tickets as you want, and then you will get put into a draw, and then the winner basically wins a custom pet portrait. So, and then of course that will, with us lot, whoever with tattooers not working, this is kind of the only way we can make money at the moment, so it would be sort of greatly appreciated. And yeah, so sorry to do that little plug, but I thought I'd, whilst you all are here, it would be a cool way to do it. And yeah, it's a worldwide competition. So yeah, I would really appreciate if you can help us out. Obviously, I understand money's tight with everyone right now, so I do understand that it's difficult, but yeah, it would be great if you could help. And also, I just want to thank John for coming along for the ride today.
Thanks so much for including me. It was
all good,
fun.
man. It's good to catch up as well. But yeah, if you wanna follow this lovely gentleman, his information is on the screen now.
Yeah, I just had to put a little plug out there.
No, totally. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm glad you did. Yeah, so hopefully everyone enjoyed it. I don't know if today was too. I don't know if you learned anything. It would be great to know if you did. I'm really excited to see everyone's versions, because that was my favorite thing about last time, was seeing everyone else's versions of my rose. So yeah, pretty please send them to me. Tag me in them, send them to me. Use the hashtag color with Antony. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's about it, mate. So yeah, appreciate you coming along. And yeah, I mean, I'll be doing these every 2 a week. So yeah, if you want to come on again, mate, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I would love to. I think it was super fun, and yeah, definitely. I'm gonna practice until then.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, I shall see you guys soon.
Cool.
Bye.